What is going on, guys? This is officially the last video that I'm going to release tonight, and it's a topic that Jet Central wanted me to talk about, and we've been talking about this weekend, but it's Baker Mayfield versus Kirk Cousins. Who do you take if you're the New York Jets? And I know that it would be made tougher for Jet Central to answer because a lot of Jets fans like Josh Rosen, and I understand why. Josh is the prototypical size. Josh has great form throwing the football. Josh is a guy that, really looks good with mechanics and the way that he can kind of cooperate in a pro-style offense. But I look at Baker Mayfield, and Mayfield resembles New York Jets football to a T. He's a guy that's won at every level. Josh Rosen, he was good at Don Bosco Prep, but at UCLA, he never got past 8-4. In fact, I don't know if he's ever won a bowl game. He lost to Nebraska in a bowl game, I believe, against Mike Riley a couple of years ago. He did beat Arizona on the road. He did have some big performances. I think he played UCLA as well, and he played well in those UCLA games he did. So Josh stepped up sometimes under the big moments, but nothing like Baker Mayfield. I mean, if you compare Baker Mayfield's college career to Josh Rosen, the accolades and the achievements, Mayfield just completely blows him out of the water with the Heisman Trophy, three-time Big 12 champion, one of the more efficient passers in all of college football, started 4 years, took Texas Tech to a Holiday Bowl, and I know Davis Webb won that Holiday Bowl, but he was still really good at the beginning of his Texas Tech career and really had a solid non-conference for Cliff Kingsbury before he went to Oklahoma, and then he had to beat out Trevor Knight, where with Josh Rosen, he did win the starting job, but he didn't have much resistance at all. And you look at Baker and winning the conference and really being on top of the college football world here for the past 2 years, whether it was Baker winning in Knoxville or Baker winning anywhere. Guy won a Sugar Bowl, and Guy was unbelievable for the Big 12. Big 12, he owned the Big 12. So I think Baker's a better player. I don't know if Josh loves football as much as Baker. Josh's release is not as fast. Josh Rosen will get hurt more than Baker Mayfield, and Josh doesn't have the escapability and the elite improvising skills that Baker Mayfield has. But now let's talk about Kirk Cousins, okay? So a lot of Jets fans fear that if Kirk Cousins decides to go to the Minnesota Vikings, or if Kirk Cousins decides to go to, say, like an Arizona or Jacksonville or Denver, that the Jets will then be SOL, shit out of luck, by the time that the actual draft gets to them at 6, and that Buffalo will trade up for Rosen, that Baker Mayfield will go to the Broncos, and that all these dominoes will fall, and the Jets will be left empty-handed going back to Hackenberg and Petty, and now be a nightmare situation for the Jets. But let's really analyze this. I've been on the Kirk Cousins, I'm not going to say bandwagon, but I've been a Kirk Cousins supporter when he was in his battles with Robert Griffin III. I liked Kirk's game. I still, in fact, like Kirk Cousins' game. The guy plays aggressive. If you watch the Washington Redskins take on the Saints, the guy is not afraid to get in a shootout with you. He did win the NFC East with the Washington Redskins. He did put up impressive numbers against the Cowboys on multiple occasions, on multiple big stages. And Kirk Cousins is a guy that can dictate a football game with throwing the football. He can make big-time throws. He definitely hangs in the pocket. My favorite part about Kirk's game is he gets the ball out of his hands. He throws a very catchable football. And he's also a guy that has very underrated arm strength. Like, he improved that part of his game of hitting Deshaun Jackson over the top, with rolling right and hitting guys on the move. So Kirk's a pretty talented player, and now that I think of it, I really do like Kirk Cousins. The problem is with Kirk Cousins is that you're getting a guy for like $30 million a year. That's what Kirk's going to request. He's going to request at least $30 million a year. And now that you pay Kirk that money, you will then have much less options to continue to build your defense. The guys like Darren Lee and Demario Davis and even some cornerbacks that you might like, or even Bilal Powell, these guys that are going to turn on to the free agent market, you're going to have a tough time retaining players now, whether it's with the offensive line, the defensive line, because Kirk Cousins is now sinking your entire cap. Look at the NFL this year. Look at the teams that got deep into the playoffs and look at their quarterbacks and their age. Blake Bortles, quarterback that is in his rookie contract, and he's not even very good. Case Keenum, no money whatsoever. I know they have Sam Bradford, but it's pretty much a Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum kind of town in Minnesota. Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, dirt cheap, both of them at the moment. Carson is rookie dealed up. You look at when the Seahawks won Super Bowls. It's when Russell Wilson was a rookie, okay? Or it was in his second or third season. That's when you hit jackpots in the NFL. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, hey, Spencer from Rover Sports, why aren't you talking about Jimmy Garoppolo in the same kind of fashion? Why aren't you ripping the San Francisco 49ers for spending on Jimmy Garoppolo? And the reason I'm not is because Jimmy Garoppolo, along with Carson Wentz, I'm confident that those guys are transcendent, lock Hall of Famers that are going to win 3-4 Super Bowls because those quarterbacks are the upper of the upper. The cream of the crop, the best of the best. I look at Jimmy Garoppolo, and if I can have one single player, one single person to build a franchise with in my building, it's Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm not thinking twice. Jimmy is the chosen one. He's going to carry the torch of the NFL for years. When you have a magic man in the building like Jimmy Garoppolo, you have to ink him up if a guy's that talented. But Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, these are all solid NFL quarterbacks. They're all pretty good, but they're not transcendent players. They're not transcendent talent, superstar level guys. And that's why spending a ton of money on them is dumb. Okay, you look at Jimmy Garoppolo, and the great news about signing Jimmy is that your running backs and wide receivers are not going to be that great, but you're still going to move the football. So you don't need to pay any money then to running backs and wide receivers with Jimmy Garoppolo. So your defense could still be pretty solid. And listen, you got Jimmy Garoppolo with the same amount of money too that Matt Stafford got. So you're still going to have opportunities now. You're still going to have opportunities to build through this draft because you get a great head start now with number 9 draft. So there's different tiers. So if I were the Jets, it's Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield, and I'm loading up and I'm getting Malcolm Butler and Tremaine Johnson in free agency. I'm getting one of those guys, and then I'm looking at Nigel Bradham maybe to play. I'm looking at Ziggy Ansah. I'm swinging big with all the money now with a rookie quarterback because your window is in fact when you have a rookie quarterback. And in some years, there might be a time when a general manager decides that even if a quarterback has great playoff success, kind of like Blake Bortles, that they just might dump Blake Bortles, trade a quarterback and trade a guy like Bortles and move back into the first round and just start the cycle again. Because when you have the cycle of a rookie deal at quarterback, that is your time. That's your golden window. That's your ticket. That's your time to stack your defense and lock and load and fire. And that's what Jacksonville's going to try to do. That's what the Eagles are doing right now. That's what Vikings are doing right now. That is time to lock and load, baby. So that's my thoughts. My thoughts are for the Jets. Stay young. Keep that money to yourself. Don't spend it on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a very good quarterback. He's not terrible. But take your swing with Baker or Josh Allen and then build a line, build some receivers, and build up your defense. And let the young quarterback try to steer a very talented, high-motored ship to a championship instead of relying on Kirk Cousins to play out of his skull every single year. And even though Kirk's very good, can Kirk get you to a championship with limited resources to spend? Think about it like that, Jets fans. Appreciate y'all, and I see both sides of the argument, and I enjoy you guys. I enjoy the Jets fans, actually. Even though I'm a Giant guy, I enjoy communicating with you Jet fans. So listen, take care. Jet Central is my guy. He takes care of a lot of you. He will take care of you on YouTube as well. Go to him. He will provide great service and take care of you. Listen, guys, take care. Have a great night. Rove on. We'll see ya. Thanks.